Good afternoon, everyone. This is Ron Tyler with Emergency Management Associates coming to you live from the Crossroads of the West in Salt Lake City, Utah. The time is 12:25 p.m. in the Mountain West in the United States of America, and we are happy to be able to bring you this news briefing. The news we have for you, the news that we have for you is news that there was an earthquake, a very large earthquake in Southern California. Well, actually in Mexico, just south of the California border last night at approximately 10, I believe it was 10:30 last night, approximately. That news we have for you here. Let me bring it up for you. I will show it to you momentarily here. A 5.6 magnitude earthquake struck Southern California, Baja California, and it was felt in San Diego and as far north as Los Angeles and over in Arizona as well. A preliminary magnitude of 5.6 rattled Alberto Oviedo Mota, Baja, Mexico, south of Mexicali. Light shaking was felt throughout San Diego County. The quake hit at 7:52 p.m. So I'm sorry about that earlier time, 7:52 p.m. last night in the Pacific time zone near the Alberto Oviedo Mota, about 30 miles southeast of Mexicali, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The level of shaking was felt in San Diego County and did not put it at risk of any potential damage. The level of shaking was felt in San Diego again. It did not pose any risk to any potential damage in San Diego County. The San Diego County Sheriff's Department did not receive any immediate reports of damage. Sorry about that. As you can see from this map, you can see where the earthquake struck and where it was felt all the way up into Los Angeles and over into Arizona. Parts of Arizona reported feeling it. There were approximately 1,000 felt reports about this earthquake last night in Baja California, just south of Mexicali, California. So that's a report on that. Now, we have more reports than that to share with you today. The coronavirus. We have now had reports, and we're going to share that with you right now via KUTV News, or KSL News here in Salt Lake City. Show you that right now.
Breaking news right now, health officials have announced the first case of confirmed coronavirus in Utah.
Yeah, this comes from Gary Public declared a state of emergency to free up funds and resources as well. You have live team coverage for you. The same name as Ashley Moser. So to another Utah with coronavirus who's quarantined inside of his home right now.
We'll begin with Matt Rascon about what we know about this new case. Matt?
The officials just wrapped up a press conference moments ago. The state of Utah was called this a turning point for the coronavirus in Utah. We should want to note that this is not a case of spread of COVID-19 in Utah. Here's what we know about the patient right now. They believe the patient was exposed on the Grand Princess cruise. That's the same ship now on the quarantine in California. The 16-year-old patient is from Davis County. After returning to Utah, here she noticed symptoms. Is tested right now. The case is considered a presumptively positive until CDC can confirm.
This patient is recovering in their home and is under a county-issued home isolation order by the Davis County Health Department. This case represents a turning point in our response. These types of cases at home will become more routine as we identify more cases.
Hospitals are, of course, closely following the spread of the virus in other states, and of course now right here in Utah, which has prompted throughout the day. So the Lone Peak Hospital, where we're earlier today, that a screening at the entrance. Heading to the hospital for yourself or someone else. Be prepared for some questions. We have set in motion some precautions, safeguards that are part of Mountain Star Healthcare's effort to reduce the risk of coronavirus at Lone Peak Hospital and its 7 other locations across the state. So when they come in here, we want to know, have you had any lower respiratory symptoms? Do you have a cough? Are you sitting in the state's leaders on the front lines of a potential outbreak in Utah have asked people with symptoms to call ahead, avoid crowded hospitals. Our ability to respond to this and keep the loss of life low depends on that, not overwhelming our healthcare providers, and to boost the state's response to potential cases. Today, the governor declared a state of emergency to unlock more funding and resources. When people hear the word state of emergency, they get really concerned. They think that, oh no, really bad things can happen. Be aware that in our case, it's going to really be a state of readiness. This sort of readiness, hospitals across the state are gearing up for. Definitely want to protect our patients first, all with an abundance of caution, as healthcare providers keep a close eye on the coronavirus spreading across the country. With the unknown kind of outcomes of COVID-19, we want to make sure that we are spending time protecting our community. I got your line. You can see here at the State Emergency Operations Center. It shows level 3 elevated activation at this point. This is where officials addressed this earlier. As a patient without means recovering at home under a county issued isolation order recovery. This county health department is monitoring that person as well as any other person that patients may have come in contact with. And over again, you heard in this press conference, just a reminder too, always usually you wash your hands and to stay home if you feel at all sick. Because most of it came from the state. Like I said, it's not out of this book when. So here we go. Matt.
That's the report from Utah. That is the report from Utah. Now, on board that Grand Princess cruise ship off the coast of San Francisco, that's where this Utah patient allegedly came in contact with the coronavirus. That's the reason that officials are giving for this person in Davis County, Utah. And again, they're not releasing the name of the patient for privacy reasons. The death toll that we have now throughout the nation and throughout the world is increasing. There have now been 2 deaths in Florida as a result of the coronavirus. On the Grand Princess cruise ship, there are 19 crew members that have tested positive for the coronavirus and 3 other passengers for a total of 22 people, passengers on the Grand Princess cruise ship off the coast of San Francisco today. There are 80 confirmed cases in Washington state. 80 confirmed cases in Washington state. And Washington state has now gotten hold of a hotel that they have bought. They have bought and paid for a old Econo Lodge hotel that they're turning into a facility to quarantine people with the coronavirus. Now, the local city where this hotel is trying to legally stop this because they say that the hotel is not a place where they can adequately provide security to secure the patients in their rooms and take care of them adequately. So the city is trying to fight it, but it's near this hotel is near Seattle, Washington. There are also 2 nursing homes in Washington state that now have confirmed cases of the coronavirus. The CDC and members of the Washington State Health Department are now doing their best to confirm those cases and isolate either employees and patients from those care centers in Washington state. There are over 300 plus coronavirus cases here in the United States. There are over 100,000 cases now worldwide. Again, we want to stress that officials have said that the chance of catching the coronavirus or having the coronavirus yourself are low. We want to stress that. They say the chances of you catching the coronavirus are low, but you need to be cognizant of everything going on around you. You need to be cognizant of everything going on around you. We want to make sure that everyone is aware of what is going on. We don't want to put anyone in a position where they feel like they are trapped by the coronavirus. That's not even the case. And not just that. We are trying to offer you information that is vital and necessary for you to make decisions on your behalf and on the behalf of your own family. That is why we're providing this information. Now, regarding earthquakes, we're going to go back to earthquakes right now. Again, we had a 5.6 magnitude earthquake south of the United States, south of Mexicali. It's down near Estacion Coahuila, Coahuila, Baja California, Mexico. This has now been downgraded to a 5.5 magnitude earthquake. Now, I am going to bring up this map. The reason I want to show you this map is because over in Coso Junction, California, the Coso volcano area, we repeatedly have reported earthquakes up and down the Mojave Desert. Today we had a 3.7 magnitude earthquake near Coso volcano, 10 kilometers northeast of Coso volcano, approximately 5 miles northeast of Coso volcano. Now you should also be aware, and we have mentioned this on previous broadcasts, Coso volcano, the Coso Junction, is called Devil's Kitchen. And it also has a man-made geothermal power plant there, where they pull water, steam out of the Coso volcano to provide, or to actually power, I should say, power turbines to provide electricity to the state of California. So that's what they're doing there. That's one reason they continue to get hit by earthquakes. And we also believe that they are, some of these earthquakes are generated by magma flowing beneath the surface. Okay, we have repeatedly shown you on different shows that we've put together, we've shown you seismograms showing the magma movement beneath the surface, magma infill as we call it. And it is coming from off the coast of California. It's coming from off the coast of California. And in fact, we believe that it also feeds or possibly feeds the Yellowstone Park volcano and up through the Snake River Canyon area. So we have that information as well. So Coso got hit by a 3.7 magnitude earthquake. Ridgecrest, California was hit by a 2.5 magnitude earthquake overnight, approximately 12 miles north of Ridgecrest, 12 miles north of Ridgecrest. Over on the coast of California, a 2.5 magnitude earthquake hit late last night, approximately 16 miles northwest of Lopez Point, California, along the coast of California. Also, over in Oklahoma. And these earthquakes, folks, are not the dyed-in-the-wool black and white earthquakes. These are only earthquakes that the USGS has reported. On tonight's show, we will show you a complete list of earthquakes all over the United States and around the world. But here in Perry, Oklahoma, that continues to get hit by earthquakes almost every day, they had a 2.7 magnitude quake approximately 12 miles west of Perry, Oklahoma. We should also clarify that this is an oil and gas drilling operation area. That is why Perry, Oklahoma continues to get hit. Folks, here is a short summary of the earthquakes around the globe. Again, this is not a full accounting for earthquakes around the globe. Yesterday evening, a 5.2 magnitude quake hit approximately 23 kilometers. Again, this is about 15 or 16 miles east-southeast of Buenos Aires, Costa Rica. Buenos Aires, Costa Rica. Prior to that, a 4.8 moderate earthquake hit around, I want to say 70 miles, 75 miles south-southeast of Punta de Barica, Panama. Punta de Barica, Panama. After the Panamanian quake hit, there was a 4.9 magnitude earthquake that hit in Puerto Madero, Mexico. 93 kilometers, probably about 90 miles southwest of Puerto Madero, Mexico. Okay, this was in southern Mexico. We have repeatedly told you, and we tell the world, that southern Mexico has swarms and swarms of earthquakes, and that they were due to have a large earthquake. First, the earthquakes were twos and threes, 2.2, 2.5, 2.7. Then they went up into the threes, 3.5, 3.8, 3.9, and then they went up into the fours. When there is a steady progression of earthquakes, seismicity of earthquakes, we can say that they are soon going to have a larger earthquake. Number one is the swarm of earthquakes, and number two, the increasing seismicity, the energy that occurs when the earthquake hits. That's what happened there. Also, near that same area, a 4.5 moderate quake hit 26 kilometers northwest of Angel Albino Corzo, Mexico, which is just northeast of Puerto Madero. So that has happened. We also had overnight a 5.1 magnitude earthquake that hit on the West Chile Rise off the coast of Chile. This is in the South Pacific Ocean off the coast of Chile. Shortly after that, a 4.5 magnitude earthquake hit 45 kilometers southwest of Conchi, Chile, which is east and north of the earthquake on the West Chile Rise. Also yesterday, we had an earthquake over, I'm trying to bring it up here, over in Vanuatu. A 5.5 magnitude earthquake hit 53 kilometers west-southwest of Puerto Villa, Vanuatu. Shortly after that, a 4.8 magnitude aftershock hit 86 kilometers west-southwest of Puerto Villa, Vanuatu. Both these earthquakes off the coast of Vanuatu, they did not hit land, and we don't have even any felt reports for these earthquakes. Again, when these quakes hit out in the ocean, the water, the density of the water tends to dampen the effect of the seismic waves. So when they do hit land, they are not as powerful as if they had hit land itself. Over in central Indonesia, this quake hit yesterday evening. A 5.2 large earthquake hit 294 kilometers west-northwest of Sumlaki, Indonesia. This is in central Indonesia, and it again hit in open water in the Banda Sea. Over in Abapuro, Indonesia, that continues to get hit by small, moderate, and large earthquakes. They were hit with a 4.4 moderate quake yesterday, 194 kilometers southwest of Albuquerque, Indonesia. Over in Java, north and west of the capital of Indonesia, Jakarta, they had a 4.95.0 earthquake that hit 157 kilometers south of Bengkulu, Indonesia. Going up into the Western Pacific, Central Western Pacific, we have a 4.8 moderate quake that hit 138 kilometers northeast of Chichishima, Japan, in the near the Ryukyu Islands off the coast of Japan. Then going north of Hokkaido in the Kuril Islands, we have a 4.8 magnitude earthquake that hit approximately 15 miles, 23 kilometers south of Kurilsk, Russia, the Kuril Islands that all belong to Russia, between Russia and Japan. Then off the coast, the east coast of Kamchatka Peninsula, we had a 4.2 magnitude earthquake that hit there. Now, this map does not show it, but there were two other moderate earthquakes, one that hit over here in the Aleutian Islands, a 4.5 near Atka Island, AKTA Island, and another near Amitinak Island in the Aleutian Island chain. These earthquakes came from other larger earthquakes over here in the Southwest Pacific Ocean, and they made their way up through earthquake fault zones, fracture zones in the Pacific Ocean. And that's why they had these earthquakes over in the Aleutian Island chain. Going up the Alaska Peninsula, a 3.0 magnitude quake hit 132 kilometers, about 80 miles west-southwest of Larsen Bay. West-southwest of Larsen Bay. Another hit just north of there, a 2.7 earthquake, 56 kilometers west of Larsen Bay, and going up to Anchor Point, a 3.6 magnitude quake hit up at Anchor Point in Alaska. Now, I'm going to try to enlarge this map to give you a better idea of where that earthquake hit. Right here. This is south and just west of Mount Redoubt. Okay. Now, the USGS is not really giving us accurate information, as we've already pointed out in the past. They're not showing all of the earthquakes. The swarm of earthquakes is quite noticeable from the USGS map compared to earthquakes that are listed by even the Europeans that tend to show probably 95% of the earthquakes. I'm going to now show you a map of Alaska to prove this out. Look at all the earthquakes over in Alaska. Again, a large swarm of earthquakes up and down the peninsula of Alaska, going up into central Alaska. We pointed out the earthquakes around Anchor Point. Mount Redoubt volcano, a 1.8 magnitude quake there. USGS didn't even show you that, did they? A 1.8 magnitude quake near Mount Redoubt. Another just east of there, a 1.40 over in the Cook Inlet there. The Cook Inlet. Going up towards Anchorage, Alaska, Nikiski, a 1.3. Most of these earthquakes shown here are 1s and 2s. Most of them are just 1s and 2s. But soon, I believe we're going to have a good 5.0 or greater earthquake in Alaska. Why? Again, we pointed out all these swarms of earthquakes and the increasing seismicity, the energy being displaced by these earthquakes. We did not have any earthquakes near Mount McKinley necessarily, but we see earthquakes northwest of Mount McKinley. A 2.0, 83 miles northwest of Talkeetna, a 2.2, a 1.6, and in Denali National Park, a 1.3 magnitude earthquake, northeast of Denali, northeast of McKinley, Mount McKinley in Denali National Park. But there was that 2.0 that we show here, 63 miles northeast of Talkeetna, Alaska. Let's go north. Let's go north and show you a few other earthquakes in Alaska real quick. No earthquakes at all above the Arctic Circle. None above the Arctic Circle. Here is the northernmost earthquake, Esther, Alaska, Central Alaska, 1.1. The only other earthquake is over in Kobuk, Alaska, a 2.7. Again, this time last year, they had a 6.3 magnitude earthquake. I believe that this 2.7 is an aftershock from last year's 6.3 in Kobuk, Alaska. Okay, that's what's going on. That's what's going on. The EMSC is showing that one of the earthquakes, minus 0.33 near Adak, Alaska, meaning it was up above sea level, up above sea level. Now, folks, what happens there is that the energy from the, I believe, the molten lava beneath the surface powers these earthquakes. In this case, that 0.13, it was above sea level. Do you see that volcano there? We just didn't have one earthquake. We had a swarm of earthquakes, a small swarm at the volcano. We had a minus 0.13 on the south flank, the lower south flank of the volcano. Then we had 2, 4, 6 earthquakes near or at the volcano, a 0.15, a minus 0.02, again going up inside the volcano. 25 miles northeast of Adak, Alaska, at the volcano, they had a 0.6, a minus 0.33, a 0.07, and a minus 0.60. Again, the earthquakes are occurring inside the volcano. Magma infill going on at Adak, Alaska. That's what's going on. Again, USGS didn't even report it, but we have it here on the EMSC feed. Okay, this earthquake off the east coast of Kamchatka Peninsula is 4.2. It will be soon joining other earthquakes through the Aleutian Island chain, going up into Alaska. That's the way earthquake stresses, earthquake energy feeds. Okay, I wanted to show you that. Now we have some other earthquakes, and I'm going to quickly report on those over in the Pacific Northwest. And like I said, we will be giving you a full report on earthquakes all over the world later tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time at our regular report. Port Angeles, Washington, over in the Puget Sound, a 1.37 earthquake today. Puget Sound, 1.37. South of there, West Longview, Washington, we had a 1.91 magnitude shaker there. All it was a mild, minor earthquake. Minor earthquake. We had one earthquake near Petrolia, California, 8 miles southeast of Petrolia, California, a 1.23 earthquake. Notice where that earthquake location is, right near the Gorda Escarpment, right near the Gorda Escarpment. Gorda Escarpment is this earthquake fault right here. This is the Cascadia subduction zone. This earthquake is off southeast of Petrolia, California. Again, we have earthquakes over in the geysers, Okay, the geysers are a man-made geothermal power plant over in Sonoma County, if you remember where the fires were last year. Okay, that's where those earthquakes are. So that's our report for right now. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask those questions. We'll be happy to answer any and all questions that you may have. Okay, BJ Blake is saying that Alaska has not had a 6 or larger on the mainland, excluding the channels, in a long time. It would not surprise me to have a larger one near Anchorage or Fairbanks. You're absolutely right, BJ. I believe that the next large earthquake over in Alaska will probably be around Anchorage. Now, I could be wrong. Kobuk has gotten hit before. Kobuk has had several 6.0 and above earthquakes in the past few years. So that is what's happened up in Alaska. We've also seen Anchorage get hit with a 7.0. And that was right after we started going on the air. We reported on that. So we have that information as well. We don't want to discount it. It's very apparent what is happening. We're just trying to report on it. Now, we did report that earthquake down in the northern Mexico, just south of Mexicali last night. A 5.6, it was downgraded to a 5.5. Now, we know it happened, okay? Nobody's disputing that. Nobody's even disputing that. But I believe that we have seismic energy that is coming from the north down the San Andreas Fault. We have also seen from last night. We've also seen last night earthquakes down in South America, in Venezuela, in the past 48 hours, and then seismicity, earthquakes going up into Central America and Mexico. Okay, we had earthquakes over in Panama, in Costa Rica, and in southern Mexico. And then last night at 7:52, we had this 5.5 just south of the US border, south of Mexicali. They continue to hit. I believe that we are getting hit by these earthquakes from earthquakes that have happened over here in the South Pacific. They have worked their way west or east, excuse me, into Chile, all the way up through Ecuador, or Peru and Ecuador, Venezuela. Day before yesterday, we reported on I believe it was a 5.2 over here in Venezuela, and it was right here on the Cayman Fault. Okay, the Cayman Fault reaches from Central America, goes across the Caribbean, just to the north of Jamaica and south of Cuba, and then it goes around Puerto Rico, around the US Virgin Islands, and then comes around here through the central mid-Atlantic, and then it comes over here and comes to a head here in northern Venezuela, where we had that 5.2. But I believe the energy is flowing up through Central America, through Mexico, and it may have also come up here to northern Mexico, just south of the United States. Usually we have seismic energy that flows from the South Pacific over through the Western Pacific, up north, through the Aleutian Islands, up into Alaska, and comes down the west coast of North America. And it may well have come from that way. But we have increased seismicity coming from Central America, or from South America, Central America into southern Mexico. And then it may have come up from that way to hit northern Mexico last night. If so, we are probably going to see increased seismicity in Southern California, up to and including the Salton Sea, Imperial County, California. Now, as you can see by this red dot, the geysers, that man-made geothermal power plant in Sonoma County, they just had a 2.5 magnitude earthquake, approximately 4 or 5 miles northwest of the geysers, This is a brand new earthquake, okay? It continues to happen. Now, we will be back tonight at 6 p.m. to give you an updated look on all the seismic activity, the volcanoes, and the coronavirus. We will keep a very close eye on everything for you. We appreciate you joining us today on the Emergency Management Associates program. We want to thank our sponsors, Patriot Supply, for being with us and offering food and preparedness goods to the world. And we appreciate all of their help in making sure that families and people are prepared. Again, we are going to be doing an emergency preparedness fair and conference here in Sandy, Utah next weekend. This time next weekend, we will be at the Mountain America Exposition Center doing that conference and exposition, that preparedness fair. We'll be broadcasting live and doing periodic podcasts throughout that that time period from Friday at 2:00 p.m. to Saturday at 6 p.m. Friday hours are 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday hours are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I believe the cost, if I'm not mistaken, is $5 per person. And as in the past, they've actually offered, if you buy one day's admission, the next day you can get in with that same wristband, I think, okay? Don't quote me on that, but that's what they've done in the past. If we can be of assistance to any of you, please let us know ahead of time. We will put your information on cue cards and be able to investigate and bring you information. One of the reasons we're going to this fair is to be able to interview the movers and shakers in the preparedness world and to be able to show you the new items that those companies are offering. We also want to interview those people from the Disaster Discovery Center, where I have been the past vice president, and also movers and shakers in the preparedness world, Homeland Security, the Utah State Emergency Management people will be there. And we hope to get interviews with them as well. Anyway, join us again tonight at 6 p.m. and we will bring you the latest in emergency and disaster information. Again, thank you for tuning in with us. We appreciate everything you do and for being a part of our broadcast and giving us information and updates as you have done. We appreciate you being here. God bless. Do know that we love you, as Walter Cronkite would say, and that's the way it is. Saturday, March 7th, 2020. For Emergency Management Associates, this is Ron Tyler. Have a great one, folks. Thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon.